Well, alright, I'm back with another first impressions video, and I've got a couple throughout the week that I didn't open up on camera because I've been way too exhausted after starting my new job. But the first one that I want to go over here is this guy. This is a TwoSun. Hey, there we go. It's a night morning design. I believe it was the TS61. It's a fixed blade knife. Hey, 14C28N, not D2. This one has a different version of that clip that I've mentioned. Kind of comes on the puffer there. This one has the little switch to keep that locked, but otherwise you'll have that, and you'll push that to be able to open them up. So a little bit different from the other one, but still functionally quite the same. This one, the handle on it, for me, maybe just a little tiny bit small. You can see my fingers basically really climbs right up onto there. Pretty darn close. But if you have normal sized hands, I don't think any of that's going to be a problem. You're going to be a little bit more back there, much more safe than I am. You got a couple of jumps up there. Looking like we got some fairly thick blade stock. And then we have a saber kind of grind here. This one, as you can see here, there we go, a whole bunch of the reflection here. This has quite the rolled edge. And also, it is, it's definitely secure in there, but it does move around a little bit more than the other fixed blades that I've seen from TwoSun. And all of that can really be explained by the fact that this is a used knife. It's not a brand new or new in box. I just looked at it or licked it or whatever. This was actually used, and hey, I'm perfectly fine with that. Especially because I haven't seen this thing made for quite some time, probably before I was collecting them, and it's kind of neat. I still do need to fix up the edge on this. For this one in particular, because of the long curve there, I'm probably not going to use a fixed angle sharpener like the Worksharp Precision Adjust or the Edge Pro or the KME or anything like that. I'm probably just going to use the Ken Onion blade grinder thing for this. It makes it much easier to deal with curved or recurved blades like this. But yeah, it'll still get super nice and slicey and shiny. Just maybe a little tiny bit thicker behind the edge. But for a fixed blade, especially for some kind of self-defense purposes here, not too bad. We also have well thought out jumps over here. They are, because they're so far apart, I wouldn't have minded them being just a little bit sharper. But yeah, as you can see, this one in particular doesn't quite fit my hands, but it probably will for just about everyone else's. Okay, the other one that I got here is this guy. This is a petrified fish. Let's see. It has a name, and damned if I can remember it off the top of my head. It's not the Scholar, because that was the other one that I got along with it that is still in delivery. Well, it'll be in the description and all of that sort of stuff there. This is a pretty interesting knife. I got all sorts of smudges and stuff like that on it. I was just finished sharpening up the edge on it to bring it up to what I like. There we go. It's kind of small text here. Let's see if it can't actually... There we go. Yeah, 14C28N. This is the PFE02. This is a very slimline knife here. Nice 14C28N blade steel. We got, well, nears makes no difference, a full flat grind. Of course, it does have a real gradual plunge grind there. But I didn't seem to run into anything that was going to give me much of a smile there when I was sharpening it. So that's good. This thing is fairly interesting. We got some jimping back there, like that. Really slimline pocket clip. Looks like this guy, if I can get the... Yeah, there we go. Looks like this particular knife was designed by, I think that's David Chen? I don't know. Cursive, it could be DeWeed or whatever. I'm not quite sure. But still, do like this quite a bit. The pocket clip isn't reversible, but the screws are mounted from the inside. So because of that, you have absolutely flush things there. You don't have any button screws up there, and this pocket clip is very reminiscent of ink pens rather than a knife. So if you are looking for something that's fairly decently large, but still looks a little bit more like a writing utensil, a little more covert, than you can definitely go ahead and pick this guy up. This one's in blue G10. I do think they definitely have it in black, and I want to say tan maybe, but that might not be available through Amazon, so you'd have to buy that through AliExpress, and it'll take, a month or two or whatever to get to you. But yeah, I really do like this thing for it being just kind of a small, easy to carry knife in the warmer months there, because we have the ramp up here. You can choke up. You got a decent choil there to kind of protect you, and because of that, I can get a full 4-finger grip on it. So hooray! It does remind me quite a bit, I suppose, of the Civivi Dogma here. They're a little bit different. This has a bit more contouring going on rather than just the couple of facets that were ground into the G10 there. So that's a little bit different. And we do have just a little bit of lock bar access here. Whereas, yeah, we do on the Civivi as well, but it's done differently. But yeah, quite a nice knife for not a whole lot of scratch. And here's this one. I don't honestly remember what would be in this one, but it does look like it's for me, and it's a knife. Oh, okay. This is another Mocenary. This must be the 03 model. I didn't hear any shipping updates on this. This is a titanium button lock, as you can probably see here through the vacuum packed sort of stuff that they've done with their other ones. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Quite an amazing contour on this thing. Well, that felt quite nice. Yep. I could probably tweak that up just a little bit, but it definitely has a lot of swing to it. This guy's an M390. Got a titanium milled pocket clip here, which kind of looks like they've even crowned around that as well. They just ended up putting a lot of probably additional work in here that wasn't necessary, I don't think. But it does kind of set it apart and make it kind of nice. It's not super crazy thin behind the edge there. I will probably bring it up, but it looks like it's probably already sharpened to about 17 degrees per side. Usually on these powder metallurgy things, I will bring them up to 15, so I'll definitely do that. But yeah, as far as the contours and everything like that, ends up working out pretty darn good. For my stupid large hands, I can say that these finger grooves and everything here, I do have to mash my fingers up a little bit if I want to get behind this little area here. I can choke up, of course, and that definitely takes care of most of that there. But if I am holding it in a little bit more of that saber grip position, I don't really have to deal so much with that. We have a little bit of, well, we'll call it milling work, but it's supposed to look like file work on the titanium backspacer there. Hidden lanyard hole, that's pretty cool. And let's see, I'll get an extra light source here. Yeah, we do have quite a bit of a weight relieving going on the inside here, so pretty nice. Yeah, so far these guys have been impressing me. Definitely with the MK01. And then this one, I do like a lot of the construction on it and stuff like that. It is going to be just a little bit small for me to really get up there and use a hammer grip on it. We also have a nice fuller here. That gives you a lot of purchase if you want to do that little index finger thing there. So a lot of people use their fingernails for that. I don't have the fingernails for that. These things, as you guys are probably aware, aren't exactly the strongest part of my body. So in that case, most of the time I end up using the flesh on the ridge there, and yeah, it works out super great there. Super amount of belly on this thing, so that's interesting. I definitely like that for concentrating the power when I'm going into a cut. I do like that. Yeah, the action, I can definitely tune that up a little bit. Feels like maybe I just between getting a little bit different lubrication going on in there, or lubrication in general, and some other stuff. That would be kind of nice. So I will definitely end up doing that. This does have a bead blast finish, which Mocenary has done so far on their titanium models. And I honestly don't know if that's necessarily their choice or if it's Rattlesnake's choice, because he does that on a vast majority of his designs there. But we don't really have any lock stick or anything going on there. And yeah, I mean, just for an EDC size kind of thing, this thing seems to be pretty nice. We are coming in just under 3 inches. So yeah, if you are in one of those size restricted locations, then you know, this thing could you could do a lot worse than this guy here. We have a decent amount of flex on the clip, so it's not going to be impossible to get in and out of your pocket. And a little interesting how they've with the contour, they've raised that back up. Of course, they did that with the plunge lock here, but for them to do that on this particular backspacer, not sure yet if it's a Chicago screw or if they just have a barrel on the inside that screws are putting in on both sides. But yeah, it's a fairly attractive knife, and a little bit more sculpting went into this than you know, a lot of others at the price point. So there you go. Thumb stud I also like. Not super sharp at the top there. And it's just got those nice ridges exactly where you want it to be able to fling that guy out there. And you can, of course, do the reverse flick with it as well, because it's on both sides. So yeah, this thing is pretty neat. I'm liking it quite a bit. But all right, well, these were the 3 that I ended up getting this week. Do like all of them, but yeah, so far, without you know, actually pulling this apart or using it for almost anything quite yet. Yeah, I am liking it quite a bit. So, alrighty. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. Subscribe. Well, I've been looking for these little beauties. Alright, yeah, got another couple of TwoSuns. Sure, I haven't used this for a while, so I got button lock large feldspar going on for this guy here. I think this handle style was White Mountain Knives exclusive. I think it was, at least. Alright, we got a 1 and a 2. So, let's see, what do we got here? Okay, this one is a Wong design. There we are. This one is definitely different visually. Looks like we got a front flipper, but we also got these thumb studs here. It's a little smaller than I thought it was, but that being said, you know, very comfortable to choke up on there. That gives me a nice full forefinger grip. Kind of reminds me of some of their other, or some of his other, you know, more interesting sort of things there. I almost kind of don't think so, but it looks like it almost could have been possible for that pocket clip to be reversed to the other side here. Let's see, this is a 371, in case we're looking for a model number here. D2 blade on it. Nice stone wash. Oh yeah, this thing is nice and thinly ground. So that is all sorts of great. We got some jimping back there, but I also kind of do like how those thumb studs kind of give you a little bit of extra thumb cushioning there. Really helps, especially if you are choking up a little bit. Just gives a little bit more for your thumb to sit there on. Let's see, this is another one of those things where we have titanium, and pretty sure that this is brass. I think it might have at some point been accidentally referred to as copper, but well, yeah, there's not a trace of red at all in there. Yeah, let's try to give it a little front flip. Yeah, that works. And I suppose I'm not the absolute best at the reach around. This one has a fairly stiff detent, probably more or less due to also having the thumb studs on there. So doing that whole finger over the top thing, probably not the best way to deploy this one unless you want to change that up a little bit. Let's see if I think I mentioned that, but this does look to be a steel liner lock, or at least a liner for the lock there. And then of course we have titanium and titanium milled pocket clip, and then we got these brass pieces here. Let's see. Yes. You can definitely tell the difference between something like brass and titanium that's been anodized gold, because you can actually rub a finger on there or something like that and give it a little sniff, and you will smell that that metal smell. That's not actually you smelling the metal. It's actually your finger oils interacting with it that creates that scent. But titanium's much more inert, doesn't do that, whereas copper and brass does. So there you go. It's a pretty interesting little bugger here. Looks like we do have a stop pin that is mounted to the blade, and because of that you do have a little bit of that open area there, which that little open area on the front, not exactly my absolute favorite design, but it really depends on your use case. This just makes little dirt and grime ingress a little bit easier, but hey, I mean, if you're already in that environment, you might as well probably use something like this without bearings in there. But alright, there's that one. This one I think is larger. Oh, yes indeed it is. Double bagged for somebody's protection. And apparently lube to boot. Alright. Is that a spermicidal lubricant? Okay, I'll stop. Her chunk. Here we are. This is a Raihi design, and this is a little bit more reined in than some of their recent ones. I am liking the handle on that thing. It is very, very neutral, as we can see here. A little bit of I suppose I'll call that a little chamfering there. Again, another titanium handle, but steel liner lock on these instead of a just a frame lock. I wonder if that's a particular theme that TwoSun is ending up going for recently, or if just a lot of them from different designers have been coming out rather than just doing a titanium frame lock. I'm not sure, but either way, they're all sorts of strong. I don't really have any problems with that. The nesting keeps it nice and thin. The handles are really comfortable. Yeah, we have we got some large, yeah, I would call those crenellations much more than than jimping going on there. Let's see, this is a 365. It's in D2 steel. Plunge grind on this guy. I'll take a look on the other one because I think that one was fairly decent. This one has a very, very gradual one. It comes out before the blade here, so you do have a little bit, but Yep, if you do slip a little bit, you'll probably create a some smile on your blade going on there. Fairly long pocket clip on this guy here. And because of that, we got a decent amount of flex to it, so that should be easy to get in and out of the pocket. I have this kind of a triangular little lanyard beast going on here in the back spacer. The blade is tucked up in there enough. It does kind of look a little high there at the very, very end. I can get to it if I dig into it, but obviously safe from any kind of things that's going to be going on in your pocket there. The detent isn't amazingly strong on this thing. That being said, the blade on it definitely has a bit of thickness. You can see it's thinned out, but comes back up to a relatively thick point on this guy here. So with all of that being said, it does have a lot of momentum to fling it out there. So it doesn't really feel like it needs a super crazy detent strength on it. But yeah, you can, if you're trying to use the pad and purposefully trying to make it fail, you can. But yeah, I mean, it takes almost no pressure at all to reliably get this guy out there. Let's see. You got about a standard kind of grind, not exclusively slicey, a little bit more robust than that, but still decently thinly ground. We're not talking like a pocket axe or anything close to that. It's a much more efficient cutting tool than that, so that's certainly great to see. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, these chamfers on the back kind of widen out a little bit on the handle as it gets to the front there, which, you know, I mean, in general, I do like that just for having more surface area for my thumb to rest on, unless I want to choke up and actually use those crenellations. But I can use either, and it's comfortable either way. So, yeah, I do like this guy. All right. Let's see. I was going to look at the plunge grind here on the 71. Yeah, and you can very easily see that on some of their stone washing where the plunge grind ends way back here. So we got quite a bit of steel to be able to sharpen out of that thing before it goes anywhere near developing a smile, unless you, I don't know, really slip up when you're doing a sharpening or something like that. But yeah, both of these are pretty darn interesting. This guy, like I said, is a little bit smaller than I anticipated it being. But I'm not sad about that in this particular case, because I do have one or two larger Wongs here that do have the little brass kind of flourishes on there. And when they are full size, they get really heavy. And this thing is fairly dense for its size, so it would probably be quite a bit heavier otherwise there. But yeah, pretty interesting overall. I do like the blade shape on it, though. Fairly upturned. Well, yeah, and this one, it has just so much blade on it between, yeah, it's probably 3.8, maybe 3.9 blade stock thickness. Doesn't look like it from the back there, but yeah, as you can see, it does get a little bit thicker. That's why I'll usually measure a blade stock thickness from the flipper tab, because it's where they almost always have the same thickness as you know, where the knife interfaces with the handle there. And yeah, because of that, this thing has just, well, once you get over that detent, yeah, it's pretty much drop shotty. Which means once I kind of tune that up and lube it up with my own devices, That being KPL, in case you were worried that I might do something really, really stupid or gross. Then, yeah. Alrighty. Well, this was fun. I got some new knives. Excited about them. So, I suppose at this point I'll share them. Share them with you. I did see right before I recorded this video that at least this guy, the 365, went available on White Mountain Knives. There's a couple of variants. There's, of course, a color version with the lightning strike anno sort of stuff. I don't remember actually seeing this one up there yet, but that doesn't mean it won't show up in a couple of days or something like that. Yeah, both of them are fairly interesting. This one is definitely more unique than a lot of others, so I certainly like that. But yeah, this thing is surprisingly comfortable. Alright, well, how about if at the end here, I go ahead and do some blade size comparison things, since I don't remember if I've done that on the previous one or not. But there we are with the Benchmade bug out. Let's see, we got the Benchmade 940. We got the Spyderco PM2. Let's try to equal that handle out there. There we go. Since we got a bit of a larger blade in there as well, let's go for the Ontario Rat number 1. Yeah, fairly similar size to this guy here. Why not? We got the K-Bar Dozier. And here we are. Last one I wanted to pull out is the Spyderco Endura, which, yeah, it's a fairly large knife. Just a little bit larger overall, I suppose, than this guy here. But, yeah. Alrighty, well, there's what we got for some new stuff in. So, alright, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo. Subscribe, please.